Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce and this is my garage. Have you ever heard about a 79-year-old woman having a midlife crisis? I'm not sure if that's what motivated her or not, but she bought a really cool convertible sports car, and I'm the lucky one today because I get to detail it. And I'm going to take you with me as I detail it and do everything from washing the outside to protecting the convertible top and even applying a ceramic coating as well as a full interior detail. So come on and join me on this unique detail and see if you can guess what kind of car she bought. So come on in and let's have some fun. The outside of this convertible sports car is pretty darn dirty. Hasn't been driven in about 3 months. I want you to try to guess what kind of car it is as we go through it, and we will reveal that later on. But it's definitely, we got our work cut out for ourselves because it's a bit dirty and look really great once it's clean and has a ceramic coating on it. I think it's going to be fantastic, and she's going to be super happy about how this car looks for that 80-year-old grandma. Then I'm going to apply the Koshemi Alkali Wheel Cleaner. All right, I'm going to let that dwell on there just for a bit, grab the other wheels, and then we're going to scrub a little bit and rinse. Alkali Wheel Cleaner is absolutely my favorite tire and wheel cleaner. You can see the browning coming off this already. This stuff is powerful, super great on tires and the wheels. See if we can get in here, and this easy wheel brush is really soft. I'm going to use my little wheel mitt here and get into these spokes. This wheel mitt works really well getting in these tight places. All right, let's give that a rinse. Okay, now we're going to get ready to do our foam wash. I'm going to use Koshemi Active Foam. This car is a bit dirty, so that's going to help get some of the dirt off. First, I'm going to do a quick rinse just with plain water. And now we're going to foam it up with Active Foam, which has a pH of about 9.5 before it's diluted. Now, if you've not used Koshemi Active Foam, right now, if you can only imagine, I know it looks like shaving cream, but honestly, it smells like shaving cream. All right, so I'm gonna let this dwell just for a couple minutes. All right, this foam's been sitting on there probably about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Again, I don't want it to dry. So we're gonna do a rinse. And when rinsing, you go from top to bottom. So I'm using gentle snow foam, pH neutral soap for my contact wash. Again, used Active Foam to get most of this dirt off. Nice, easy strokes. There's really not a whole lot of dirt on here at this point, even though it really was on there to start with. So I've sprayed Reactive Rust Remover from Koshemi. This is removing any of those chemical contaminants on the surface. We let that sit on there and see if anything turns purple, and I do see some purple here on this side. And we're going to rinse. We don't want this to dry. This helps get any of those iron deposits off the surface of the vehicle. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and spray a little bit of foam back on the vehicle, and I'm going to do the mechanical decontamination, which is where we use a clay towel and remove any other contaminants on the surface. And we're going to use the foam really as a lubricant. And this does feel a bit rough. We'll see how well this towel does. I may have to do A little bit harsher clay, but we'll see. You can literally feel, it's like going over a fine grit sandpaper. All right, starting with the clay bar, one of the things that I've done is, again, it comes in it's a bulk kind of pack of a full piece of clay. I've torn off a little bit of piece here, and I'm gonna use that. Basically, you're just gonna smush this around, kind of form it into a flat piece. So again, it's very malleable. And then I'm going to use clay spray on the surface. You can use rinseless wash as well at a 1:28:1 dilution. Most rinseless works just fine for this. And then basically we're just going to slide the clay across the surface of the vehicle. You hear that, so you might be able to hear. Then this is some of that contamination, because once you get that contamination off, it just glides across it's like glass. As the clay becomes soiled and you'll see contamination on the clay bar, you just fold it over and reform it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with claying the rest of the hood and parts of the car. So I'm going to use the Koshemi Micro Cut as my starting polish with the Micro Cut foam polishing pad as well. Basically, just because there's not a whole lot of imperfections on the surface. So again, the idea here is trying to get as high a gloss, but also do a little bit of cutting where I need to. And if I need to move to fine cut, I will do that as well. All right, when I'm polishing, I do have priming the pad, since this is the first time pad's used. Basically, I'm going to apply onto the surface, figure out what area I'm going to do, and I'm going to start right over here, and then turn the polisher on slow speed. Then I will slightly just spread this polish. Then basically take my soft microfiber and wipe off the polish. Yeah, this looks really nice. All right, so I am gonna take my paint correction light, just do a little bit of looking here to see, again, if there's anything that appears. So I like to use a small polisher for these kinds of areas, and even a nano, a much smaller one, to get into these areas. But I'm going to just do this part of the trim. The 5-inch polisher certainly can do okay, but this area here is actually not a level surface, so it makes it kind of difficult. So I'm going to use my 3-inch Rupees polisher really well. This car is polishing up really nice. I can't wait to ceramic coat it. I think it's going to look fantastic. All right, the polishing on this vehicle is now complete. So before I go on to the ceramic coating step, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put fabric protectant on this convertible top. So that's why we're going to use that. Now today I'm using G-Technic Smart Fabric. This stuff is not cheap, but really good and very durable. Essentially, we just have to spray it on the surface fairly liberally because you do want it to soak. And the thing you have to be really careful about is you don't want it on any other surface. And as you can tell, I was fairly liberal here with how I'm applying this. All right, I'm going to let that soak in, and then I'm going to go around the back and the other side, and finish up. All right, the convertible top is now fully protected. The paint is all polished, and I'm going to do the next step before we go into the ceramic coating. But before I get to that, I want to remind you that if you're using G-Technic Smart Fabric, to make sure that you wear a respirator mask or do this in a well-ventilated area. All right, so now let's go on to the panel prep stage. This is the last step before the ceramic coating. Panel prep is essentially what you're doing is you're spraying panel prep, which is by each manufacturer of the ceramic coating will have their own panel prep spray. While most panel preps are similar and they're an alcohol-based solution designed to remove any residue from polishes, any oils, so that it doesn't interfere with the ceramic coating bonding with the paint surface. So panel prep spray, again, very easy to use. Shake it up. In this case, the instructions are to spray it directly on the microfiber. I've had other panel preps that say just spray right onto the vehicle's panel. So I'm just going to spray it right here onto the microfiber, and then I'm going to wipe over the surface. Wherever the paint is that we're going to be coating, that's all that needs to be done. It's very simple. You just do that over the entire surface that you're going to be spreading the coating on. And once I do that, I'll come back and then we will start the coating. All right, we're now ready to apply Crystal Serum Light, which is our first layer of ceramic coating that we're going to apply. Crystal Serum Light is made by G-Technic. We're going to put this on first. Then we are going to follow that in 1 to 2 hours after this cures a bit. We will follow that with XO-V5, which is another coating. The combination of these two coatings can get you probably at least 5 years. Always wear gloves when you're applying ceramic coatings. Shake the coating. Remember, you're always going to replace the lid. Okay, I'm going to do 3 full pipettes. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to apply, put the lid back on, apply, and then I'm going to immediately wipe. So one of the things you got to make sure is that you're very clear on what area you're applying this to. Just going back and forth. And then I'm just going to go one more time, kind of in a crosshatch pattern here. And then I am going to now remove that excess. I can flip my microfiber and just buff. So now I want to apply XO-V5, and it is applied almost in the exact same way, except you allow 1 to 2 minutes of it on the surface before you wipe it with the microfiber cloth. It comes with the same type of applicator, but again, you apply and allow it to set up for 1 to 2 minutes before doing your first leveling with a microfiber towel. So again, you want to shake the bottle, and I'm going to saturate the applicator here pretty good. And then I'm going to apply on the surface. Again, I'm going to use the same type of pattern just to make sure I cover the entire surface, following the body lines, so that again I can remember what I've coated. All right, and then I like to set my timer just to make sure. All right, that's been 1 minute. And I do see some beading on the surface. Again, looking like it's ready to be leveled. So I'm going to go ahead and level that, and boy, is it slick. Man, that is a slick coating. And I'm going to level that just again with another microfiber towel. I'm hoping you can begin to see this on camera here where the coating is really starting to bubble up, kind of sweat. Hoping you can see that. And now I'm going to level that. Again, wiping with the microfiber towel. And remember, with coatings, they need to cure for 12 hours before they're exposed to any elements, so no rain, anything for 12 hours. All right, this looks like it is really sweating. And this wipe off, I'm just amazed at how easy it is. There's no grab on here at all. And I'm going to follow that up with a second microfiber towel. Yeah, I'm going to continue this process. Okay, I'm in day 2 of this vehicle. The exterior is all ceramic coated, both layers, fully polished, decontaminated, all that stuff. Now we're ready to work on the interior. The first thing I do typically when working on an interior is I inspect and remove any personal items from the vehicle or any large debris, trash, and collect all of that. The personal items I package up, and any trash items, of course, I just go ahead and dispose of. That's the first thing I do. Then I'll be removing the mats, and then I just go in and start to do a moderate level of vacuum. I don't look too bad in this car, do I? Yeah, kind of fits me, huh? Now I'm going to just clean off these interior surfaces. The interior is really not bad. So for example, if I'm going to do up here in the dash, I can just put some Polestar up here. It's nice in the foamer bottle. And then basically I can take this brush, and this is a nice tight space here. And with this brush being so soft, it's not going to scratch anything. All right, and then I can basically just take my microfiber towel, get into these small spaces as best as I can to wipe all that foam and cleaner off. So I'm going to repeat this same thing for all of the interior. Then I will begin to, when I dress it, I'm going to be using Koshimi Top Star to dress it. And I will use Leather Star on the leather seats. Sometimes you have really small spaces like around this part of the air vent, and I can see some dirt in there. So often what I'll do is I'll take one of these very small applicators and just put a little bit of cleaner on there and then slide that into that area and just go all the way around to make sure I get any dirt that's in that kind of an area. Hopefully you can see this was white. It looked like this when I started. So now I'm going to apply Polestar to the leather seats and do a little bit of scrubbing here. Take my microfiber then and just wipe it dry. Next step will be I will apply Leather Star to the seats. Leather Star is used without any dilution. Basically, you just want to make sure you shake the bottle. I like to use a microfiber sponge. I apply the Leather Star straight to the sponge and then onto the surface. You can allow this to dry on the surface. If there is any excess, you can take a clean microfiber cloth and wipe any excess off. Should leave a nice OEM finish, not too shiny. It's not slick, has a great fragrance, so it smells nice and clean. Okay, now I'm going to apply Top Star to the interior plastic surfaces on this door. Basically, I just take Top Star, it's used undiluted, and I just put some on the microfiber applicator, and then I just wipe across the surface here. This will die down a little bit over time. If it's too glossy for you, what I do is I let it sit there for a couple minutes, and then I'll take a microfiber towel and just wipe over it. So we're down to the final stretch here. My process for cleaning rubber floor mats, and these are not too bad, is Green Star, and this is at 1 to 5. So this is fairly strong. Put Green Star on here, let this sit for just a moment. Then I will use the drill brush just to scrub it. It's a soft drill brush. And then I will apply Gumma Fix, which is a non-slick dressing. Okay, now that these mats have been cleaned, they're now ready for the Gumma Fix dressing. Gumma Fix, again, or Guff, is a non-silicone, non-oil based mat. It's actually a dressing, but it's non-slick. So it restores to a nice new finish without creating any slickness. So I'll spray it on the surface, and then I do like to use a microfiber applicator to get in all these little grooves. You can then just let it dry from that point forward. So I'm on the last step in this vehicle. I am now going to apply tire dressing, and today I'm going to use CarPro Dark Side. CarPro Dark Side is a really nice dressing that makes the tires, it's kind of glossy, not overly, but they'll look really nice, especially when they're cleaned thoroughly in the beginning, which we did. And if any tire dressing you're using is too high of a gloss for you, remember you can always just level it down with a microfiber. That's it. I'm going to do all 4 tires, and then I'm going to give you a final look at the car. Okay, so we've done a complete detail on this 2020 Ford Mustang that the grandmother bought when she was 79 years old. She's 80 now. The car looks fantastic, as you can see. CSL and XOV5 for the ceramic coatings did an outstanding job. My first time using those 2 coatings, I will use them again. The application process was super simple. The gloss, the slickness, amazing to me, especially when applying, was fantastic. You've seen the full interior clean. You saw all the decontamination, the polishing of the surface, everything to get ready for that ceramic coating. We even put protective coating on the convertible top, which will help preserve that, prevent any mold as well. The car looks great. Put CarPro Dark Side on the tires. Looks fantastic. There's one last thing I always do, and that's I will do a little bit of a quick spray on the inside of Koshemi Fresh Up. Gives a nice fresh smell to the vehicle. Other than that, listen, I hope you've enjoyed this. I appreciate a thumbs up. Appreciate subscribe if you want to see more content. I really do appreciate your time today, and I want you to go out and have some fun detailing. Thanks for watching.